I'm being joined live by security expert Edinen Usoroh and former lawmaker representing Kaduna Central, Shehu Sani, on the news at 1. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
All right, let me quickly go to Edinen Usoroh. Now, talking about the crisis, the attacks on the Plateau. For over 14 years, this has continued, and every time this happened, you hardly hear of arrests being made. Now, the arrest of the suspect by the police has sparked protests in Boko's town, as sources who should know are saying the indigents are angry that the police are making indiscriminate arrests of people in the community which they believe are innocent. Now, what do you make of this?
Sadly, one is confused, not really knowing what to say, because we keep on been talking for the last 14 years, as you've said. One, because you cannot keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. And if we are in a crisis situation where these marauders will get into towns and villages and carry out these heinous crimes, and at the end of the day, you're not talking about substantial arrest. People that should be shown, because, if they're coming through one way and they are retreating, even normal common thieves in the village, you can trace somebody's footpath to wherever the thief came from. But that's not what we see. And when I hear about arrests have been made, and one, we don't know the categories of people that have been arrested. During your news, there's a report about the community women complaining about some of their youth that were arrested. I don't know whether that's part of the arrest that we're hearing. But what I'm saying in effect is, if a group of bandits, terrorists, whatever name we want to call them, will get into villages, not just one, multiple, and do all the damage, how did they escape? How did they retreat? You mean you cannot even trace, because in such a number of people getting into any particular place, there will be signs, there will be roadworks, there will be bush tracks, there will be grasses that you could see a trace of human traffic. But I don't know. Like I said, one is at the loss of the right word to use now.
Let me quickly talk to former lawmaker representing Kaduna Central, Shehu Sani. Good afternoon once again.
Thank you for having me.
All right, still talking about the attacks on the Plateau. One looks at this and you begin to wonder if this is literally or essentially an attack between the so-called settlers and the so-called indigents. We have heard a group say that, look, they've been attacked in the past, and what usually happens on the Plateau is a case of attack and reprisal. Now, is that what this is all about, really?
The attack and violence and bloodshed in Plateau State is part of the wider problems of terrorism faced in northern Nigeria, particularly northeast, north central, and northwestern part of Nigeria. Now, the bloodshed in Plateau is of two types. There is the usual one you have between settlers and so-called settlers and so-called indigents. But this particular one is an act of terrorism. Clashes is about civil populace, perhaps picking cutlasses and going up against each other. But this one, they are well-armed, organized terror groups that raided villages and killed people. This is what happens in Zamfara, this is what happened in Kaduna, this is what happened in Nigeria and parts of Kaduna State, particularly in southern part of Kaduna. And this is not the first time. It has been going on for the last 1 decade. And the solution must simply be military. The leaders of the region the traditional rulers, just leaders, political leaders, both in and out of government, need to converge in either Kaduna or Jos and find a solution to this problem. This problem has been going on for a very long time, but we have seen that appreciably under this administration is a better approach and serious, comparatively, a more better intervention in terms of finding solutions to problems like this. But if we are to end this problem, there is a need for us to look beyond the military solution. Leaders of the North must sit down and see how this problem can come to an end once and for all. By that, they will complement what the federal government is doing. If not, we'll still be going through this cycle of violence. Terror attacks, killing, burning down of places, condolence visits, 2 days of national mourning, 1 minute silence. The problem cannot be solved if we continue along this cycle.
All right, thank you so much for your thoughts. The former lawmaker representing Kaduna Central, Shehu Sani, sharing his thoughts with us there. Let me quickly go back to Edinen Usoroh, who is still standing by. Quickly, Edinen, these attacks, no doubt, have dealt the state a really huge blow. Of course, this is one long-standing issue, and it keeps recurring. Now, everyone seems to be suffering from the effects. Do you see an amicable settlement in view?
If the government, by this I mean the federal and the state government, if they have the political will, why not? It's very possible. I mean, what I'm trying to say is that you can't stay in a situation where some outlaws will have easy access to communities, attack people, kill people, and then they go scot-free. I mean, so if the political will is there, this matter, I believe very, very strongly, a matter of months, if not weeks, this matter will be brought to an end permanently.
Right, thank you so much. Quickly, let me go back to Shehu Sani, former lawmaker representing Kaduna Central. Let's have your view talking about what solutions do you think can be preferred to the myriad of security challenges we are presently grappling with in the country.
Okay. The solutions are in threefold. The first one is that our defense and security apparatus must make use of local. Soldiers cannot be everywhere, policemen cannot be everywhere, but you'll have people everywhere. There's a need for recruitment of informants who will promptly submit and relate and communicate information concerning the movement of these terrorists. They move within southern part of Kaduna, Plateau State, Benue State. When they move, they attack in the night and then they disappear. So local intelligence is very important, and the immediate response is also important in that aspect. Secondly, leaders of the region, I have said it earlier, sit down. Now, this problem has been raging for a very long time. We can't have a solution to it if there is no alternative approach. Let the leaders of the region sit down, invite all those communities, religious bodies, and institutions, and see how these issues can be rooted at the grassroots level. Every village, every town, and every locality within those areas that are affected need to work together. Terrorism affects both Muslims and Christians. That is why we have a situation going on along this path. So that is very. The third aspect of it is that there's a need to allow the state to see how the vigilante groups and volunteers who have decided to take on this fight be supported. If the government will not allow people defending themselves, then if people organize themselves as defense communities or vigilante group or volunteers, they need to be given all the necessary support they should have in order to protect. It's happening in parts of Kaduna State and Niger State, where some communities have decided to set up their own vigilante group, contributing money to protect themselves. If this is not done, it's going to be worse. You can see in some parts of the north, where even these terror groups are imposing levies and fines. People can't go to their house until they pay levies, they pay taxes to terrorists. It has reached a point in some places, some communities invite one terror group to protect them against that. If we are going to have solution to this problem, it has to be holistic. It's not the government that can do it, but all these steps need to be taken in order to secure, but the whole part of those areas affected.
Right. Thanks indeed for your thoughts, former lawmaker representing Kaduna Central, Shehu Sani. Now, let me quickly go to security experts, Edinen Usoroh. Quickly, now, terror attacks in the northeast and, of course, the north central has increased in the last 1 week, with 7 persons killed, reportedly killed in Gaidam local government area in Yobe. Now, of course, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has asked the nation's security chiefs to ensure conclusive victory against the myriad of security challenges confronting the country. Now, can we quickly have your thoughts on this, talking about providing a lasting solution to all of these security challenges, facing us?
Yeah, before now, I did say that if the political will is there, you remember that just in the recent past, you hear the governor of Borno, the governor of Yobe, some of these governors in the north will come out to say, Boko Haram is not holding any local government, they are not in any place, they are not holding any ground anywhere. We hear this every time. The question is, from where do they come? They are not just attacking localities that are the boundaries of maybe Nigeria and then other countries, maybe like, say, Cameroon or Chad or Niger. They are attacking within the central parts of each of these states. Now, if we say these people's locations are not known, how did they manage to get into central parts? I mean, for instance, we're talking about Bokos. Bokos is at the central of Plateau State. Bokos, local government. It's not just it's just sharing a state with another, a boundary with another state. No, it's at Plateau Central. Now, the question is, if these people are allowed in Plateau, in Yobe, in Borno, they're going around attacking, killing, and they will be able to escape. That is where my fear is. And I want to say that the government, because it's one thing to give an order to the military and another thing to make sure that the order is carried out. But I know that I have absolute confidence in our military. These are guys that when they go out on any outside duties, they perform excellently. So I want a situation where the government.
All right, I may have to end it there. Thanks indeed for your thoughts with us, security expert Edinen Usoroh and former lawmaker representing Kaduna Central, Shehu Sani. Of course, they've been sharing their thoughts with us, talking about the security challenges the nation is presently grappling with. Thanks indeed, gentlemen.